It's allowing for the work that's been done to show itself, to prove itself. You know what to do.
Right.
You know this. Trust. I've become an expert of such in myself.
Yeah.
Right? Not even in an industry, because the industry is always changing. But becoming an expert in myself is really the goal. And understanding myself and understanding what feels good and not betraying my intuition. You got it. Don't overthink it. Go with what you feel. If you feel that this is right, trust that you can say yes to yourself. And more important than the music, it's what I want people to understand about life.
Welcome to Deeply Well, a soft place to land on your journey, a podcast for those that are curious, creative, and ready to expand in higher consciousness and self-care. I'm Devi Brown. This is where we heal. This is where we become. Thank you for joining me for this episode. Welcome back. We are exploring the intersections of self-discovery, healing, and the many ways we can live with more presence and intention. We've been exploring this in a few different ways as a theme, really, for this season of the show and beyond. Because this space is about the journey, the evolving practice of coming home to ourselves, deepening our well of wisdom, and learning how to move through life with more ease and alignment, always. Today's conversation is one that speaks directly to that evolution, how our voices, our purpose, and our connection to the world shift over time. We're diving into creativity, motherhood, healing, and the ever-changing landscape of fame, artistry, and self-expression in the digital age. I am so excited to welcome today's guest, someone whose voice has not only soundtracked pivotal moments for so many of us, but also carries an undeniable energy of truth, depth, and soul. Today's special guest is Melanie Fiona. Melanie was raised in Toronto, Canada, and now resides in LA. She is a two-time Grammy Award winner. She exudes soulful charm, wit, and a remarkable talent for storytelling. Her distinctive and powerful voice has captivated countless listeners. Her debut album, The Bridge, was hailed as one of the best R&B albums by the New York Times, featuring the notable single It Kills Me, my jam, which topped Billboard's R&B hip-hop chart for 9 weeks. Her second album, The MF Life, reached #1 on the Billboard Top R&B Hip-Hop Album charts, showcasing her outstanding versatility as a singer-songwriter. Often described as your favorite artist, Melanie's collaborations have spanned genres, from her Grammy-winning work with CeeLo Green to songs with John Legend, Common, The Roots, and reggae superstar Stephen Marley and rap icon J. Cole. Melanie Fiona's powerful live performances have led to her tour with acclaimed artists like Kanye West, Alicia Keys, Mary J. Blige, and D'Angelo. Passionate about the healing power of music, she often refers to herself as the singing nurse on stage, creating a unique blend of live music and wellness at her shows and speaking engagements, where she serves as a calming, energizing, and inspirational presence. As a dedicated musician, mother, and creative entrepreneur, Melanie continues to expand her influence, advocating for inspiration at the intersection of music, motherhood, and wellness. She co-hosts the popular parenting podcast, The Mama's Den, and is actively growing her motherhood and lifestyle brand, Melly Belly. Excitingly, Melanie Fiona is set to release her new EP, Say Yes, on April 4th, and she is going on tour. Melanie!
She is!
Welcome to the show!
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Wow, that was a whole intro.
Did you love it?
Wow, I'm gonna tell my kids this is how we wake up every day. Introduce me this way, kids.
Hey, really quick, we're gonna get back to the show, but I want you to take a second, if you haven't yet, to consider pre-ordering my new book, Living in Wisdom, Embodying Your Authentic Self, Embracing Grief, and Developing Self-Mastery. It is in stores everywhere April 22nd, available for pre-order now. It is filled filled with teachings and practices to take your healing journey to the next level. It is available everywhere, April 22nd. You can pre-order it now. Oh my gosh.
Thank you for having me.
I am so happy to have you here. And we actually, if you guys haven't caught it yet, go back in the archives. We did an episode during the pandemic, and I was thinking about that episode so much, and I re-listened this week, and I remember both of us at that time, like we were just deeply understanding it was time to serve. And I remember we were talking so much then, especially about your vocal gift and about the healing power of music and sound, and just the depth and tenderness that really like the vibrations of a voice can create in another person. So much has happened since that episode.
So much. I had another child.
A whole nother life.
We survived a pandemic. Reemerging into this new sense of self has been quite a journey for me. Emancipating myself creatively, professionally, spiritually, just being free to become what I am supposed to become in this life. And it's been beautiful. I'm so happy to be back here with you because the conversations we get to have, I don't get to have with many. And so I'm so grateful to be in your space and to be a part of this platform and to share with you again, because it's just so easy to share with you. So
thank you.
So thanks for having me back.
You know, I'm so curious, Melanie, like from the pandemic to now, right? It has been 5, I think, years. I don't even know what day or time it is anymore. What planet are we on? But you know, something that was so strong about the way you were connecting with the world and with your audience, like it was service. And I remember we talked about you being the singing nurse and really that kind of undercurrent of purpose transformation, right? Like you've always been tapped in. You have always known yourself as a healer, even when we didn't have that language. And now in the last those 5 years of just like active healing in the world, but then also growing and changing and integrating into the weight of that role. Tell me how that experience has been over the last 5 years.
Oh my gosh, 5 years. So how long do we have today? It's ongoing. It's really ongoing. I think, having a second child really brought me back deeper into purpose and into self. Having a daughter really allowed for me to see parts of myself that still needed more work, still needed more healing. I have a 3-year-old. We were talking off camera about how spicy she is. She's so spicy. I love her to death. She's amazing. She's everything I wish I could be in this life. She's fearless. She's unapologetic. She's strong-willed. She is certain of herself. All the things that I want to be when I grow up completely. And seeing that really, I think, having a child brought me back into the focus, I think, of the all-encompassing work that I'm supposed to do in this life, which brought me back to a space of healing in the motherhood space. And so even before having her Earthside, I felt like I was being called through that in the pandemic. We were isolated, we were mothers, we were women, we were feeling what is happening? Things that we didn't imagine could happen were happening. And at that time, I connected with 3 other women, Cody, Felicia, and Ashley. And we decided we wanted to start a conversation about motherhood. And we started a podcast called The Mama's Den. And we didn't really know what was going to become of that. We just knew we needed a space to kind of share and speak and connect, because we were like, are you struggling? Because we've been in the house with these kids and we don't know what's happening with life and like what's going on. And so, motherhood has, I think, become a deep anchor for me in purpose and healing. And so we got together during the pandemic, testing ourselves every Friday to make sure we were good to record before, it was really a wild time. But in that time, I ended up getting pregnant. And I did not expect to get pregnant. I thought that I was one child and done child, and that was it. And so here I found myself being called back into this journey I didn't think I would experience again, but this time feeling more supported, more connected, more present in what was happening. And so I feel like the energy that I was surrounded by these women, by these conversations, really allowed spirit to bring this child into my life and said, you're going to do this again. And so in that regard, it then became, it brought me back into like a deeper purpose of where I was like, okay, I have to start building what I want to create. And I always bring this back to my voice. I think for a long time in my career as music, and you listed, it's interesting whenever I hear people read my bio, because I was like, oh yeah, that did happen and that happened. And it feels like lifetimes ago and like different versions of myself, you know? But the thing that I always bring attention back to in knowing what is my gifting and my purpose comes always back to my voice. And how can I use my voice in different ways to bring healing, awareness, community, closeness, safety. And so that's where in that time, music was kind of this uncertain thing because nobody was performing.
Right.
I had just recently transitioned out of a situation that I was in legally, out of all of my old previous contracts, and was transitioning into an independent space. So then here comes this child, and now I feel like my life is being called to, what do you want to do?
Wow.
What do you want to do? Where are you going to go? Because this feels like an act 2 of life for you. You know, here comes this second child. You're getting a chance to revisit music should you want to do that again, now from a different perspective, from a different place. How do you want to use your voice? What do you want to write about? What do you want to sing about? How do you want to make people feel? And all of these things involved examining who I once was and then allowing myself to not feel necessarily beholden to meeting or matching those expectations of who that version was, and allowing myself to say, who do you want to become? What do you want Act 2 to look like? And so now 2 children, a husband, creative freedom and independence to make music again. It was a journey of self-discovery again, balance. What does that look like now? You know, okay, not being afraid to say I'm multifaceted. I think previous to motherhood, I felt like I could only be one thing. I was only going to be received for one thing. You didn't want to overwhelm people with all of your gifts and the things that you were capable of. It was, you know, you're a singer, sing, you know, but I had so much more that I wanted to do. I had so much more that I wanted to show and share and showcase. And it just, I never gave myself permission to do that. And so from the pandemic in the last 5 years, that's what this has been. It's allowing myself permission to explore, to expand, to rise, to fall, to try, to fail, to try again, to not get it right, to trust more, and to honor the spirit and the soul of who I, like you said, before I had the language, knew that I think I always was.
Yeah.
And to be happy doing it. Yeah. And to be happy doing it. It's a journey ongoing.
Yeah. Wow. So one of the things that you said was that, you know, you mentioned like the funness of it and everything you just spoke to. I mean, this is like when you first hit the scene, you were a young woman, right? Still a girl in so many ways. And now it's like you're a mother, you're a healer, you are a wife, you are an established woman in the world with so many life experiences. So one of the things that I thought of when I first started listening to the new music, I was like, God, I wonder what her creative process was like, because you're meeting something you know that you're already an expert in as a new person. How did that process feel for you? And does the fun feel different? Like when you look back at how you created earlier in your career and how you're creating now, what feels different about the process? What feels different about you, about the end result?
So it's interesting because you brought up the word fun. I want to have fun creating this music now. And I did have a lot of fun creating this music now. When I first started, it felt very high pressure. You know, you're breaking into the music industry. You're trying to make a name for yourself. You're trying to achieve some version of success that has been planted on you that you think you have to achieve. And, you know, there's a bar that's been set, and it's not successful if it doesn't look or sound or feel or meet this XYZ.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of strategy and formula, and you know, and you go to work with the person that has the best song and the best that has the hit right now because you want to get a hit from them too. And
you're like, what I'm hearing is like, you have to be connected to the zeitgeist. It has to be about whatever has been established and is on trend.
Correct. So this time it was about fun for me. It was about creating with people that I feel wanted to be there, that wanted to be involved, that reached out and were like, hey, what do you need? How can I help? Call me, I'm down. Like creating from a place of fun and just the space to be. It doesn't have to be what I've already created. The It Kills Me is a song that changed my entire life and career.
Legendary.
I still sing this song how years, 15 years later, you know? So
we're still crying to
this song. Thank God we're not there no more, but we still cry into it, you know? So it's like, it's a very interesting thing to, you know, for people to put that on you.
Yeah.
To feel like, well, it's no, It Kills Me. No, because we already did It Kills Me.
Right.
That's okay. I don't need to do another It Kills Me because I did It Kills Me. Now I'm saying yes. Now I'm making I Choose You. Now I'm making songs that reflect where I am and the journey of what healed and like healthy love looks like on me and in this iteration and season of my life. And so it's, but also I'll say this. It was also very challenging for me too, because it had been such a while since I had released something to the public. And regardless of whatever we want to say and think, if it was just for me, I would play my own music in my room and I wouldn't play it for anyone else. But I am putting something out into the world. And I do want it to reach people who like it. And I do want people to like it. And I do want people to feel what I'm feeling when I create it. And so there was a bit of imposter syndrome for me, where I had almost forgotten the amount of hours and years and days that I had put in when I was in Zeitgeist World, that I just forgot is almost it's muscle memory, you know? And because I had felt out of it for so long, between the challenges I had to go through in my professional, you know, changes, to the pandemic, to motherhood, to all of that, and then trying to step back into the space, I even said it just now, trying to step back into this. No, stepping back into the space.
Yeah.
This is not my first rodeo,
right,
you know?
Right.
So I even remember when I was shooting the first two visuals for Say Yes and I Choose You, we did it in one day. And I remember feeling like I had to have certain people on set with me to help guide and be my eyes. And when I got there and it was time to be on the camera without those people there, I was like looking back at the footage, leaving the shoot that day, being like, oh, you know what to do.
Right.
You know this. Trust. You don't need to rely on anybody else. And I think that in the beginning of my career, it was very heavily relying on the opinions and the guidance and the expertise of other people, because granted, I hadn't developed it for myself. So this version is fun. It's freeing. It's, as I said earlier, it's trusting my own voice. It's allowing for the work that's been done to show itself, to prove itself. You know, that it's nice to feel like I've become an expert of such in myself. Yeah. Right? Not even in an industry, because the industry is always changing, but becoming an expert in myself is really the goal. And understanding myself and understanding what feels good, and not betraying my intuition, and not listening to the voice that says, just, you got it. Don't overthink it. Go with what you feel. If you feel that this is right, trust that you can say yes to yourself. And so that's been this recipe, this mantra, these words of affirmation that I have been holding on to in this season of my life. The songs are about it. The EP is about it. And more important than the music, it's what I want people to understand about life. And I think that, again, using my voice as a vessel is, sure, we could listen to this music, but I also want the things that I say and the messages that I say to reach people in a way that they feel connected to, that they can apply in their lives, and then also love the music at the same time for it. So yes, it's a season of fun right now. Season of fun.
I mean, thank you for walking us down that road, because there's so many things that I think are so significantly important that you said out loud for everybody listening. Like, so many things. And most especially, it's the self-trust, right? It's like, you are prepared. It's trusting yourself to do what God wants you to do and do it. You know, like there's no further preparation needed. It is the surrendering and the allowing.
I have been speaking to God more than I ever have. And that also is attributed to having children, because I want them to have a relationship and a connection to the voice of God at a very young age. And I want them to see me having that connection as well. And that can look different for everybody.
Yeah, please say more about how that looks for you guys.
For us, we talk to God every night. We do. And we express our gratitude for the things that we have. We ask for the blessings for the people who don't have. We ask for, the prayer of, for me, when I pray over my children, I want them to hear me say, may they always know the love and the light that is inside of them. May they always trust that. May they always know that they are guided and protected and divinely covered. I want them to hear these words, because to your point of saying how we trust ourselves, we come to this place, we trust ourselves. My children are going to go out into the world, and I'm going to need them to trust themselves. I'm going to need them to make good choices based off of the voice that they've been connected to inside, that we've been talking to, that we've been nurturing and pouring into. And that is absolutely connected to God directly. So, it's not about religion per se. It's about spirituality. It is about knowing the God that exists within us.
Yes.
And always knowing that is something that we can rely on, and we should absolutely be encouraged to not be shamed to talk about or to share or to be that way. And every time I go somewhere, before I go now, even yesterday, I had to go somewhere where I had to sing, and I talked to God the whole way while I was driving. May I show up in my fullest self. May you work through me in this space, that whatever I say, whatever I speak, whatever I sing today reaches those who need it, reaches those who feel it and want it and are looking for it. May I say something that comes channeled from you to these people. And so that's, again, when I think about microphones, when I think about platforms, people listening, watching, it comes with great responsibility. We're human and we don't have to be perfect, but I think it is important that I always try my best to know that I'm operating from intention and from source.
Yeah.
And so again, with my children, I see their light for who they are. I mentioned my daughter, we were talking off camera about my son, his spirit, so pure, so divinely connected, so intuitive, very much my child. And I want to encourage and protect that and nurture that. And so I have to lead with that in my life. And so even these songs, these songs that I'm creating, when I think about what I want to say, when I was younger and I was inspired by vulnerable love songs that Whitney Houston would sing or Lauryn Hill would sing. And even if I wasn't living or experiencing it, I felt it and I wanted to sing those songs too. And now that I am a wife, a woman, a mother, I think about what it is that I want to say, even in the truth of how difficult it can be. On the project, I have a song called Mona Lisa Smile. And Mona Lisa Smile is about the sometimes the conflict that you can feel in a relationship, in a situation, but the fact that you have to carry on.
Yeah.
Because if I let one tear fall, they will turn into an ocean. And so that's a conversation of vulnerability too, that I think especially women of color, Black women, that we carry, that we have to be strong, this crown of strength that we're so strong that we have the capable of, but I also am fragile inside.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to be seen as such. You know, I want to be celebrated for both.
Yeah.
And so that's where Mona Lisa Smile comes from in that regard. So when I'm thinking about leading by example, I'm thinking about what are the words? What are the songs? My children are singing these songs. My children were present when I was singing songs like It Kills Me and 4 a.m. and Wrong Side of a Love Song. That was my heartbreak, devastation, certified lover girl. Oh, my heart is broken. Let me sing a song about it. My heart isn't broken now.
Yeah.
You know, my heart isn't broken now. My heart is whole and expanded and growing and expanding every day. And so what do I want to say? What do I want to see my children sing with me about? What do I want them to know about their mother in her journey, on her journey? And so, yeah, it's been really important to be mindful for me about everything that I do now. What I consume, how I consume it, who do I engage with? Where do I socialize? How do I socialize? Where is my energy best served? Can I quiet the voice down that says, you have to be in it, you have to do it, you have to keep going? Do I?
Right.
Or can I take the time I need because it's mine to take? You know? So
I love that.
So that's
mine to take.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling everybody. Like whenever I speak to other artists or creatives, I'm always like, take your time. It's yours to take. When I think about the break between my projects, my last project, full-length project, came out in 2012.
Wow.
2012. It's been 13 years. In the space of what they've told us about what makes longevity or what people amount success to, or you got to be in it so people will forget about you, or you'll be washed out, you'll be washed up, you'll be forgotten, damaged goods. I'm still here with more to say and more to give and more to offer. And that is nothing short of God and just being obedient and protecting and doing the work along the way. Because if I wasn't doing the work along the way, I might be might be on a different path.
Yeah.
I might not have the peace that I have, that I sought and fought so hard for.
Certainly.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that I learned some very valuable lessons in what I always call my awakening year, which is 2012, 2013. And that really put me on, I think, the trajectory to have longevity and sustainability, to be here again, to still be healthy and to have energy. And I keep saying gas in the tank, because it's a journey.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's exciting. It's exciting.
So exciting and so deep and so exactly what this is, you know, like this is what purpose is. This is what devotion to your gifts and to the way you're meant to serve is, you know, and it's meant to be so many things, you know, it's meant to change form in so many ways. And it's like every decade, every 5-year cycle, every 10-year cycle, like we should be looking and doing things that are different.
Yes.
But still settled into the truth of who we are, what our gifts are, what our skills have been. Like, this is it.
Yes.
Yeah. And I have to say, too, just everything that you spoke to in regards to how you talk to God, how you connect with God with your children, I see, I relate to, I deeply connect to in so many ways. And that kind of living prayer, there is nothing more powerful in the world. Like I've just found the way that kind of living your prayer and being in constant dialogue about every piece, like down to everything, just like one of the things that I just am always saying throughout the day is like, teach me, God, show me, show me, God, teach me. Surprise me, God.
Surprise me, God.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And
Yeah.
thank you for sharing the process, because I think so many people are going to be able to bring more of that, because nothing else matters. Like, if we can be clear and honest, nothing else matters.
No.
If you weren't doing all of this for God, what is the point?
I think people get so embarrassed sometimes at the idea of hearing themselves say certain things out loud. They feel like it has to be this quiet thing. And that's fine if that's what you feel is needed. But I truly believe that sometimes people are afraid to say, no, I talk to God out loud. Or to walk around and say it out loud in your house to yourself. Surprise me, God.
Surprised me, God. And God loves direct communication, just like every other healthy relationship, right? Like,
we ask for it in our marriages, in our relationships, in our friendships, in our professional relationships. We're
better be direct with God.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So that God can be direct with you. Because I think that that's also the thing, is that in the last year specifically, there's been a couple situations where I've been like, God, if this is not meant for me, if this person is not meant to be here, show me, remove
Take
it.
them, Lord.
And sure enough, that person was like, I'm so sorry, I can no longer be here. Oh, great.
Yep.
Thank you. No problem. And listening to that, it's been so important for me, I think, to have space to listen to the voice of God when I ask for it, and remember that I asked for it.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. First of all, this new EP.
Yes.
April
Yes,
4th,
yes.
it will be birthed into the world. Say yes.
Say yes.
The power of that statement alone. Talk to me about how this creation began to take form, and most especially the title.
So the song itself, Say Yes, on the project was kind of the anchor for me. This is my heartful, in the word heart, capital A-R-T, piece. I love this song so much because it came from such divine magic. In this room, this song was created a complete live jam session.
Wow.
Yes, with some of the most incredible producers and musicians that we know. I'm going to say their names because they are so magical. Andre Harris, Thundercat, Charlie Burrell, Chris Dave, some of the most just incredible artists and musicians all came together in one room. And we were in the room one night and they just started playing. And the music that came out was this song. There was no conversation. There was no direction.
Wow.
It was
a full channel.
It was a full channel just working through everybody in the room. I co-wrote this song with Sir, another incredible R&B artist. And even that was such a very sacred time because he hadn't even arrived at who he would become as well. He was still more behind the scenes at that time. And so it was just magical. And I knew that this song was magical and I knew that it was very important. It would have a life in my career. And I didn't know how or when because I was going through some changes that I didn't know how things were going to land and where it was going to be or when these songs were going to come out. And so when the time arrived that I started revisiting, putting out new music, Say Yes was there. And I was like, okay, this is it. I know that this is the piece that I've been carrying, and the magic of what this song represents, the live instrumentation, the soulfulness of it, the story. The story is about me and my now husband, of what we had to do to arrive at this life. We had to say yes, to overcome the fear, to put the doubt away, to put the traumas away of what we've been through, and say yes to one another and move forth and to be vulnerable. And that messaging alone, again, like I said earlier, outside of the music, is what I want people to know. I want people to know that everything remarkable that I personally have ever done has come from saying yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
Everything that I've ever achieved, Every new height that I've ever risen to has come from saying yes. And so I want people to feel that. I want people to, so many people say, oh, I love your love. I love seeing you and your husband. And we know our story of what it took to get there. But listening to these songs, you'll have a deeper understanding of what it really did take. And how can you apply that mantra to your life, whether it be for your love, your professional endeavors, whether it be for the way that you want to see yourself, honor yourself. What do you want to say yes to yourself for? And so that's where this title and just the affirmative of the power of the words. When people say, "Oh, you have a new EP, say yes," they're putting more energy into the saying. Say yes, say yes, say yes. Plant the seeds. Have somebody say, "Have you heard Melanie's new EP? Say yes." Oh, say yes. Yes, say yes. Yes, I have heard it. Just more affirmative language.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, I didn't arrive here without affirmations. I didn't arrive here without affirming and believing that I could. I didn't arrive at this life and this love and these blessings without allowing God to be present and to work and to say yes to it all. You know, so overcoming fear was a big part of this.
Yeah.
Big part of all of it. To welcome love into my life, to take the step of uncertainty and unknowing how things could or could not turn out, but to continue to walk, to continue to journey. And so, yeah, it's about the affirmation. But then the music, I'm so proud of. I'm just so proud of these songs. I think they feel really good. They feel really good. You know, I worked with incredible people on this project. James Fauntleroy, an incredible songwriter, producer, one of my longest friends in the music industry. Both of us knowing each other before anyone knew our names. And to create with him on this project it's very special to me because I just admire his work so much. D. Mile, incredible live musicians, just so much talent that showed up for me on this project. And then these stories of just love and how I celebrate my love and love in general in this season of life. 6 songs, easily digestible, press play, let it run, say yes on the project. I don't know when this is coming out, but say yes on the project. I brought back at the end of the project for a full 7 minutes. It's a 7-minute song. And so that was intentional. It's getting lost in the musicality.
Yes. I was like, that was the 70s.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, these beautifully long with long intros and outros to lead you in and take you out.
And that is, I'm so excited for people to hear that.
Yeah.
Because it's a vibe. Dance to it, make love to it, smoke to it, whatever you do, ritual to it. I don't care. But the music is so beautiful. And knowing, I want people to understand that, again, the way this song was created, there was no conversation. These transitions, when you hear the music and you think it's about to end and then it goes into another groove, was just magic happening in the room. And I was sitting there like, what am I witnessing? It's a memory etched in my mind. And so I want people to experience what that feels like. And so, yeah. And then this project is, I think, the platform and the door opener for me for completion, because I know what it took to get here.
Yeah.
I know the times where I wasn't sure if I was going to arrive back here. I know the times when I didn't know if there was more gas in the tank and if I could heal beyond what I had been through to arrive back at this place. And so to me, success is releasing it on April 4th. Not the expectation of how successful and who and what, that I've done it for myself, that I've fulfilled this calling to continue to use my voice the way I know I am intended to, the way I was gifted to, the way I was put here to. And so it's a marker of success for me personally to cross that finish line with this project.
So amazing.
And then be open to what God has in store for me after.
Right. So amazing. And creation for creation's sake. Yeah. You know, creation because you are built to create. And God says so. Yes. You know, it's like, I think what you're describing too is something I think about a lot, where it's like people that are true creatives, people that are really here with gifts and need to serve, it's like taking the ego out of it. Right. And it's so hard to do because we are so conditioned by society, but especially coming from the industry, it's like, it's damn near impossible to do. Right. Yeah. But it's like, it just speaks to such deeper layers of surrender and trust. And again, purpose and alignment, because when you're when you're someone that has something to really offer and deliver, it is for all time. Right? Like it is not just for this year or this award cycle. It is for all time.
Yes.
And your fans are heavy. So of course they're going to love this project, and someone in a couple hundred years might find it and be brought to life in a different kind of way. And it could mean something entirely different or more to the people of that time. Like none of that matters. Creation is what matters.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. It's like, we like I said, it's very difficult, I think, especially in a space of social media, right? Like we feel triggered and challenged all at the same time when we see people just doing the thing and people are like, oh my gosh, it's too much. But it's like, is it too much, or are you afraid to do it? And that's why it feels a little triggering. Create the thing, put the thing out, create more. So that's why for me, I think
right.
And so that is really important. I'm excited about what I do at 65.
Right.
I'm not concerned about getting older. What a blessing to be able to do it. Please, God, let me get older.
Right.
Please, God, let me get older.
Aging is a privilege.
But how you do it and what you want to do with it is up to you. So I'm excited about what I can create and continue to create.
This just made me think of this mantra from the designer Norma Kamali.
Yes.
So she has a beautiful book that I don't know if this was her intention, but this is what I relate to it as like a book of aging, where it's every chapter is broken down by the decade of her life. And she's in her 70s now. But one of the things she shared was this affirmation, I think she starts saying in her 40s, which was, I will age with grace, beauty, power, and influence. And I was just like, that is so powerful. And none of them, those words individually need to be defined, right? There's not really an expectation of how that word quantifies.
Right.
But to say that as the intention, so I've started saying that every day since I read the book. And I'm like, I love that so deeply, because there are so many things to be created with the privilege of aging and with the perspective and with the additional gifts and attunements. And it's just, it should never end.
It should never end.
Yeah.
It should never end. I look forward. I look forward to it. I look forward to whatever days I have ahead and the space to create, because it's just, it's like we said with God, it's like, it's all possible. It's just all possible. Anything is possible.
Anything. Okay, you have to finish telling me this story, because when we were off camera, you told me the first parts of the story about say yes. And you were like, I think something about Instagram.
You had said something about say yes.
On Instagram.
And I remember I'm going to go back and find it in our messages.
Okay.
Because I was like, we have to talk about this. And I hope we can recall it.
Okay.
I hope we can recall it.
We're going to find this.
We're going to find it, because I knew when this happened, when you said that, I was like, I'm going to sit down and talk with Devi. And it's going to be about this project.
It's going to be about this project.
And it just when those words came up, when you said them, I was like, oh, it's perfect. I'm going to go talk with her. And here we are.
And it's so like, I've just really loved hearing your relationship with God. You know, it's been such a privilege and a pleasure to hear you share about this, because that is the prayer, right? It's just yes. Once you learn, okay, it's not yes if you're a people pleaser. It's not yes if your current battle and spiritual curriculum is standing up for yourself and having boundaries. I don't want you to weaponize that or use what we're saying as a way to subjugate yourself. But I will say you'll know when it's time to learn how to say yes again. Yes. And at the juncture of the journey you arrive at, after a lot of that crevice work, after a lot of those shadowy parts, it is trusting yourself to say yes again. It's empowering yourself in your connection with God to say yes again. And it's like, that's the prayer. Just yes, God. Yes, yes. The answer is always yes, God.
Oh my gosh, that was perfect. That is so perfect what you just said. Exactly, because I think a lot of people, and I've said this before, we focus so much on saying no.
Yeah.
You know, no is it's a full sentence. Of course. Yeah, it is. Of course. And I've said a lot of no's.
Yeah.
And I've earned the right to say yes.
Woo.
I've done the work to say yes. I've done the work to know that if I say yes to something, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine, because I'm saying it from a place of faith, of intuition, of experience, and trust. And so it is that. It is that, because I'm so glad you said the people pleaser thing, because that doesn't mean you just go say yes to everybody.
Right.
No, you have to arrive at the place to say yes. The shadowy parts.
Good and well.
You know.
If this message is for you in your life right now.
Yes.
Or not yet.
Yeah,
right?
not yet.
You're walking up the hill to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Before I invite you to share some soul work with the audience, I would love to hear a little bit more about your creative process. How do you invoke the muse? How do you invoke the spirit when you know it's time to create again?
I create space for myself. I will especially say this in motherhood. I have a very hard time, or I've had a very hard time in balancing the guilt of needing to be other places.
Yeah.
Right? And how I don't think about dinner when I'm supposed to be writing a song. Right? And so I have learned the art of compartmentalizing these roles in my life, and also communicating with my children and getting their blessing for it when I leave the house and when I have to do things. Mommy has to go. I'll be back. I'll show you what are you going to do today? You know? And so what it looks like, I think, in a space for me is I always walk with my incense. I'm always walking with my Palo Santo. I'm always walking with crystals. I wear my crystals, and I set intentions when I'm going into a space. Creativity for me is like a faucet. And it's one that sometimes takes a little loosening up before it starts to flow. And so for me, the practice is showing up with consistency. It's showing up with the spirit of allow what is to come out to come out. And if it doesn't, try again tomorrow. So, and also it comes from being in spaces with people that are of the same vibration and frequency.
Yeah.
I cannot work with anyone anymore that I don't feel like I can be my authentic self. Like I can share these things out loud, say these things out loud, that I feel that we can have a conversation and our words flow and intertwine together. If I'm writing with you, or if I'm creating with music, whatever it is, it has to be on the same frequency. I can't. And so when certain things come up, if it doesn't feel aligned, I just, no, thank you. No, thank you. I say yes to spirit and no thank you to that.
I love that.
So the creative process for me is just, you know, I would love, in an ideal world, I would love to just go away into a very small place on an island and shut out the world and get quiet and pick up a guitar and play and isolate myself for 3 to 6 months. And maybe I will one day.
Yeah.
But my kids need me right now. It's not that season of my life, but I would love to at some point. And maybe that's what lies ahead of me, you know? Maybe that's the space that I need to find the next level of my voice.
Yeah.
And, you know, that I feel is something that I would like to explore one day. But for right now, it's conversations, intention setting, and being in spaces with people that want to create the same way I want to create, and want to impact people the same way. Yeah.
Beautiful, powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. I would like to invite you at the end of every episode, our guest gets to share a piece of soul work, which is an opportunity for everyone listening to integrate what they've heard or what they may be experiencing inside with a practice of any kind. So that can be a favorite ritual of yours. It can be a prompt for journaling or self-inquiry, a favorite quote, or an actual type of physical or even mental practice.
So many come to mind right now. What would I like to share? I'll take a moment to ask God right now what it is that I am supposed to share. The thing that comes back to me is my younger self. My 4-year-old self said that I wanted to be a singing nurse when I grew up. And when I was younger, it didn't necessarily make the most sense to everybody. It was cute. It was laughable. Oh, what a singing nurse. Who would think to say something like that? The thing that I'd like to share is I will ask everybody to think back to the youngest version of themselves that they can remember. The most joyful, the most free, the most sure of self version of yourself as a young child. And I want you to think, it could be at any age, whatever that is for you. Mine is 4 years old. And I want you to think about what makes that version happy. What lights or used to light up that version of yourself. And I want you to think about your journey through life as a tether back to that 4-year-old, 6-year-old, 3-year-old, 7-year-old, 9-year-old self, whatever age. And I want you to imagine yourself walking the line of your life, but understanding that it's curved and you go off track sometimes and you come back. And I want you to always find the points in which you feel connected back to that version of yourself. And know that that is the alignment that you are always seeking in your life for what success really feels like. When you are living in your purpose. Before the world came and told you what it needed to be, who you needed to be, how it needed to look, that version of yourself, that younger version of yourself, knows who you are at the core. Holding on to that version is so important to the happiness that you are seeking in your life, to the joy that you are wanting to feel in your life. And you will know those moments when they are aligned. And so don't let them pass you by flippantly or as just moments going, oh, that was, no. Take a moment to acknowledge that your youngest self is so happy, is so proud of you, is with you every day. And it's our job to remind ourselves to be and remain connected to that. That has been something for me that I know when happens now. I can clearly identify. And I hold on to that, and I make mental notes. Don't forget that. You're on the right track. Keep going. You're on the right track. Keep going. It's confirmation for me. So I don't know if that was, I don't know if I lost anyone there, but I hope that who needed it and who understands what I'm saying is feeling that, because it's been a huge, that's what I have as a marker of success for me. When 4-year-old Melanie is like, yay, we're so happy. I'm so proud of you. Look at you. Good job. Good job. I know who she is. I know who she is.
Oh, so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking me to share.
That was so beautiful. This beautiful body of work, Say Yes, is available April 4th, 2025. Live with it.
Live with it.
Live with it. Pray with it.
Pray with it. Dance to it. Love to it. And come see it live on tour.
Yes, she will be on tour this spring.
I'm going on tour starting at the end of April. And I'll be performing the catalog songs, the new songs. And this experience that I want to create is one that I want people to walk away feeling like they have embodied what it means to say yes. And so that's my hope for every stage that I touch on this tour, every person that's ever been with me on this journey, that has come to see me, that is coming to see me for the first time. I want to make a deeper connection beyond the music. I want everyone to feel like they can say yes when they leave that room. So come to the tour, listen to the music, say yes.
Yes. Yeah. I'm like, I wanted to say it right away.
Right.
Yes. Oh. So everyone scroll down in the show notes of this episode, whether that is on YouTube and you can see me right now, hello, or you are listening, scroll into the show notes. Few things you can link to the project. You can check out Melanie's website so you can get all the tour dates, and you can connect with her on Instagram so you can figure out all of the things.
All the things. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. This was a breath of fresh air for me in a myriad of conversations and promotional appearances and singing. This was a true gift. So thank you for having me. Thank you for creating this space to have conversations like this. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Melly Belly. Let it anchor in, let it integrate, and really climb into your heart with this one. Who are you being called to become? Right now, this moment. Thank you for listening. Namaste.